Hey guys, Tyler here. Today I'm taking a blind look at Call BBS. This is the final Zachtronics game before the company decides they're moving on to other things. For those following my channel, Zachtronics made Opus Magnum. They have a very specific style, but I boot up the game and it loads me into this old school PC, a Sawayama. Well, what the hell is the deal with that? Go to system? Oh, is this the options? Okay. Let me get out of there. You got Solitaire. Oh, hell yeah. Sawayama Solitaire. With its own win count. I'm gonna just minimize that one. What's a Handymate? Possibly tutorial. This is my old Sawayama machine. All set up like it was back then. I even got the BBS running again so you can dial in and download some more of these retro games. So I wrote a few notes about how I came across these things and whatever else came to mind as I was getting it ready. You might find it interesting, you might not. It's there either way, have fun. Minimize everything. Drive 0, Zachtronics Connect. Oh, am I at the web? Dial last call BBS. Oh my god, it's a dial-up system. I am too young for this shit. But hey, we got connected. I've heard this is how the internet used to be. Oh, it's a bulletin board system. So it's like a precursor to the internet. Start with some D&D, Dungeons and Diagrams. Oh, and just the rules of the game. You can download it, difficulty rating 3. Oh my god, this is a slow download. Okay, can I play Solitaire while it downloads? I can, perfect. Best strategy is make sure I know what I'm working with before... Wait, why are they all face up? Oh, nice, my file downloaded. I can minimize this. And I can't download anything for 15 minutes. Well, so I think the whole point of this game is to actually play the games within the game. So now I actually get gameplay. Dungeons and Diagrams. Hark, brave adventurer. In this game, you must use logic to complete the dungeon map by placing walls in the correct spaces. The number next to each row indicates how many walls it contains. Left click to place walls. Each empty space in a map is part of a treasure room or a hallway. Oh, this is just nanograms, right? Is that what this is, or is there a twist to it? Treasure rooms are always 3x3 with a single entrance and a single chest. The chest can be in any of the spaces. Each monster is in a dead end. Every dead end contains a monster. All empty spaces connect into a single contiguous shape. Diagonal spaces are never considered to be adjacent. Hallways are always one space wide. Outside of treasure rooms, there will never be a 2x2 block of empty spaces. Place all walls correctly to solve the puzzle and unlock more. Okay, so the numbers actually refer to the amount of walls in that row and column, and then the rules are as follows. I mean, the monsters have to be the end of a hallway, and then there's only one 3x3 treasure room, and I have to make a path to it in hallways. Very cool. So first game. So this is an 8x8 grid. The chest is here, so there's a 3x3 grid somewhere around it. Well, here's something. I know this has to be part of the room. Oh, I can start with the right side. There's a 4, which means 4 walls. And these guys are all the end of a hallway. So I very much imagine that it would be the same 4 to continue the hallway. Now, I believe the entire thing is connected. So I don't want to block off any of their hallways, so I'll go with 4, 4, 4 again. So actually that 3 up top, that row of 3 is completed, and it actually grays out very handily. And you can drag to mark. Very cool. Well, because this 1 has been marked, this 7 means that there are 7 walls here. God, this play is so silky smooth. I love it. Also, this 4 probably means I gotta have 4 here. So now it's pretty clear what my 3x3 is. Now, what I don't know is where the hallway out is. Now, I see this 4. I still gotta have 4 walls, and you know what? I guess that marks off some other numbers, and that 2 forces a wall here, and that's the first level. So I just gotta click on this as the main menu. There's a dude, but I think he's an end of the hallway all the same. So if the Steam page is anything to go by, there's like multiple of these small games within them. So I'll be taking on various logic games, you know, throughout this series, assuming they're continually fun, and I like this type of game. But I'll tell you what, this 6 column on the left is actually pretty suspect. There's 7 of them. And basically, you know that there's going to have to be 2 walls that are to the left of this chest. And I checked the rules. The treasure room can only have a single entrance, so it's not like I can have a separate hallway exiting from the treasure room that leads to this guy. So this has to be the treasure room, because he can't be attached to it. And thus, there must be a wall in between, and that completes the 2. Oh, and actually, I can see where the exit from the treasure room is. I mean, it's already denoted in the 1 column. And also, the top row of 4 is trivial. Now, I guess I can use the monsters themselves as just markings for where the tunnels end. There cannot be a 2x2 outside the treasure room, so I can mark these spaces. The 6 column on the left can be marked. The 4 column has 2 walls in these 3 spaces. One of them has to be here, so this monster can be a dead end. How about the 2nd row from the top? The monster is blocked in except for this one little entrance to him. So then I can mark off the rest to complete the 4. And again, I must continue the path, because it has to be one entirely connected path. And now I have a completed 4 column, which I can mark. The rest empty. I still must connect the path. And now this column of 4s can be marked with walls, completing it. I have a 3 that's completed, so I can mark those as empty. Oh, and this monster again must be at the end of a hallway. There cannot be a 2x2 section. And there's only one wall left. Alright, the logic puzzles are going to get harder and harder, although this 0 starts nicely. It seems like the way it plays is that it doesn't verify, or it never tells you you're wrong, it only tells you when you're right, which is something I actually appreciate. This monster must be the dead end of a hallway, so I can build around him? I can't build around him, though. Well, I can build around them like this, I guess. Yeah, corners don't matter. And that frees up a lot. I mean, I have a 1 row that's complete. I have a 2 column that's grayed out. I gotta find consistent terminology. I'll get there eventually. Skeleton on the left already has his hallway pathway out. Well, ignoring the chest room itself, I'm pretty sure it has to be either here or here. So that means I can know that this is the exit from the treasure room, and I can make a boundary of walls. I have a row of 2 that's grayed out, so I can mark the rest as empty space. So I know where the treasure room is. I can mark this so it doesn't become a 2x2 outside the treasure room. Oh, this row of 2 is actually very telling. If the treasure room was to be here, then there would be a wall here, but that makes the 2 unhappy. So the treasure room must extend to here. And now I've created the treasure room, so how about I mark these surrounding areas with walls? Which actually does a ton for me, thank you. There's a lot of spaces I can mark off now. Now, the rules say that every dead end must contain a monster. So if I was to say put a wall here, I would have a dead end without a monster. So that means the wall needs to go here, so there is no dead end. And this is a dead end. Well, so it can't be a dead end. There would need to be a monster there, of course. Literally just got a couple more walls. The 3 will basically complete it. And the final one reveals itself. I'm liking this puzzle type. So the first thing I see is 6s on the edges. And since it's an 8x8 and there's 2 monsters on each of the edges, that means you can kind of just fill in all of the sides. So that gets you started, and there's some 2s already complete, which generally makes it easy. Wait, is this parallel? Or not parallel, mirrored? No, it's not mirrored, but it gives me a very gripping start. Also, there is no treasure. So there's just no 3x3 treasure room. Well, the 5s just imply 5 walls. I have a 3 column that is grayed out. I think I just need to make no accidental dead ends here. Is really the only constraint. So I could probably have a wall here and walls here. It seems like there were multiple ways to do it, and I think there are. It's just making sure you know that it's gotta connect. Oh, little slime dudes. Well, top and bottom rows both have 0s. And again, they gotta be dead ends, so some of them you know how the dead end is formed due to the empty space. And now I've completed 2s on the edges. And now I have another slime, and actually more slimes that I know how their dead end happens. Just follow the dots. Well, so that means this here is always a hallway, so it can connect with the rest, and this makes this a wall to complete the 4 column. It means this is always a hallway for connecting purposes. And this 4 in the middle just requires more walls like this. So again, it's got to all connect, so both of these have to be hallways. The 3 column then implies 2 walls. And again, the hallway has to grow. I'll also have a 2 row that is complete, so happy to take that down. Now this 7 row means that there's only 1 gap. So that means this here can't be a way out because it leads right into a wall. It's just got to be a single hallway. Well, that means it has to be here, because if this was a wall, this would be a dead end without a slime. Forces wall here, which completes the 2 column, and that also creates the gap in the 7 at the bottom. I now have a 4 column that is completed, and I think again I've just got to not make any dead ends, so it might look like this. The fetid sewers. 3 to go, but this looks like there's a lot. Maybe there's like a 9th final puzzle is what they're all leading up to. The treasure room is back. My attention immediately goes to the 1 row that contains the chest. Wow, I was also thinking about this 6 on the edge. Well, I mean, obviously both of these cannot be escapes because he must be at a dead end. But I believe both of them can be walls too, because I could just create something like this. Oh, maybe not. Is it possible for this to not be a wall? And the answer is no, this must be a wall then, because otherwise the 2 becomes unhappy. And now I gotta think about this guy. He must either exit from here or from here. So one of these 2 spots is a non-wall. And 6 out of 7 in the column are walls. So the 1 that isn't is in one of these 2. And then all the unaffiliated now become walls. And that does complete the row of 1s. And it also shows me how to get the hell out of the chest room. This is the path out of the chest room. The chest room involves these 3 horizontally, but I don't know how far vertically. I do have the dead end created for the guy on the edge. And now I have dead ends created for the corner left side guys. And I gotta continue the path. If I continue the path, again, I can't have the path go here because this would be a dead end. And I can't have a 2x2 of hallway. Must continue the path. I cannot have a 2x2. And that completes the rows of 4 and gives me my chest room, which I can now mark with walls, which now gives me the path for both of these edge guys. And it gives me, the final wall for the top row 2. And now I have some 3s that are completed. And now I have the pathway created for the bottom guy and can create a wall, and I'm almost there. And would you look at that? Funny, these are technically getting harder with every puzzle, but I'm also getting better, I think faster than the puzzles are getting harder, which I like. I like getting better at things. Well, first thing I know is that this has to be part of the chest room. Monster must be a dead end, so there must be a barrier in between the monster and the chest room. There's 2 chest rooms, what the hell? How did I not even notice this? Either way, you gotta separate the goons from the chest room. That's just a rule I found, and it looks like actually the top chest room is pretty set in stone. Well, I can determine the rows at least, and 2 of the columns, but it could be either here or here. But I do have the bottom skeletons all have their dead ends carved, and now I can create a path out, and I must continue the path. Now, I guess there actually is one way for this to continue. And that would be the chest room being exactly here, so I can create a path branching out. And I think that's actually it. There is no other configuration of the chest room that actually doesn't break the rules. And it does line up very perfectly with the numbers, so I'm happy to continue. Okay, this row of 6 leaves me with no other option but to create a wall. The 4 column shows that this is in fact the chest room, and the path that connects it makes itself. I can continue on the path. The 1 row shows that these are all hallway, so I think I can just mark the rest easily. Very cool. And this is the final level before we find out whether there's a boss. There's a big demon, a chest which reveals nothing, but there is a row of 0, which gives me my first bit of information. It tells me a little bit about the chest room, actually. I can't have the chest room be here because then this becomes a 3x4 chest room, thanks to the hallway. I cannot have the chest room be in this 3x3 because then there would be 2 hallways coming out of the chest room, and the game rules say there can only be 1. So either the chest room is in this 3x3, or it is forced to the top 3 rows. Now, if it happens to be here, we already have the pathway coming out of the chest room, so there would have to be walls here and here, which invalidates the 1, which rules out this option and proves that the chest room must be on the top 3 rows. But I don't have the columns yet, and that's fine. I can just mark these. Oh, and this top row of 1 is actually very telling. There's only 1 wall on the top row. I mean, I guess it could be here, but then both of these would be non-walls, and I would have a monster not at a dead end. So this can't be a wall. And frankly, because either this is a wall or this is a wall, that means the dead end is in the other one, which means this can't be the dead end. This is a wall. But technically, we don't know if this is part of the treasure room or an exit. Okay, how about this column of 5? Using this column of 5, I can prove that the treasure room is actually here. Because if the treasure room actually involved this, then it most likely have 4 walls. So this column is not part of the treasure room. Now, I don't know at all where the exit is, but at least I have the treasure room down. And actually, it gives me a little bit because I have a column of 4 that I can mark. Awesome. Progress. Well, now that I know where the treasure room is, I know there must be a wall here because this monster cannot directly connect to a treasure room. And that lets me mark off a bit. Oh, and also that gives me the path out of the treasure room. Well, there we go. That's very helpful. Thank you for your service. Now I continue down this path. Can actually go quite far here. And connecting to that path, 3 in the rightmost column is completed. I now know this cannot be a hallway because it would be just the dumbest, shortest hallway in the history of hallways. So it's a wall. Oh, and actually this is a wall as well. So this is a hallway. And the 5 column means both of these are walls, which means that the hallway must continue here. This is a wall, no 2x2s allowed. I have a 1 column that is grayed out, so the rest of these are hallway. No 2x2s allowed. The 4 at the bottom is completed, and I have my hallway. This one was a tricky one. The focus is the treasure room. Well, does this become a puzzle now, or are there... Oh, there's a ton more. See, I like this game a lot, and actually want to continue playing it, but it seems like the point of this game is actually to download all of the games and get into each of them. So let's take a look at 20th Century Food Court. Make food for people in the future in this factory game. Weird premise, but try it if you're technically minded. Okay, I'll give it a shot.